Anglican Care is a shorthand because the real name is the Social Services Council of the Diocese of Christchurch. But even that isn't a good description because we do more than social services. But if we step back from social services, even back from social justice, and ask the really big question, why do we do this? I think the answer is that we recognize that one size doesn't fit all. What works for one person doesn't work for another. So we try to custom our approach for the needs at hand. So whether the question is child poverty, whether it's fighting slavery on the high seas or social housing, whether it's the distinct needs of men and women's night shelters, or whether it is community development trying to help people help themselves. Anglican Care helps people of all ages to face their problems, get free of addictions, face up to loss and death, as in the case of the Oceans Project down in South Canterbury. So again, why do we do this? Quite simply. Our Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God and Son of Mary, came to set the prisoners free. And we, as his hands and feet, heart and voice, seek to help. God bless you.
Hello, I'm Alison Jeffson. I'm the Director of Anglican Living. Anglican Living's about living, people living ordinary lives, sometimes with more care than other times, but people doing the things they enjoy doing, having fun together, whether it's residents, their families, staff, volunteers, everyone interacting together, sharing the good times and the bad, supporting each other, celebrating, all the fun things that we do together and the normal things we do in our lives together. On a normal day, it might be people picking up the paper and reading it, might be doing some gardening, going for an outing together, doing a puzzle, all the things that people really enjoy doing in their day. Anglican Living is about being a family, a Christian family, family where Jesus Christ's name is honoured and where Christian values are upheld. But I really want to emphasise that our staff welcome people whether they've got a faith or not. Any faith, no faith. That's about Christian hospitality. It's about saying, come and be part of our family together. It's about sharing Christ's love through what we do. And to that end, we've got some fabulous staff. They've got all the expertise needed to provide the care so that people then have that opportunity to live. Chaplains are a really important part of our life as Anglican Living. They provide pastoral care, friendship, getting to know people, a listening ear when it's needed. They're also there to lead midweek Bible studies as well as take worship services both midweek and on Sundays. I want to read you a comment that one of the residents put anonymously on a recent survey of residents. They said, "It is a real privilege to live here in this hidden gem of Christchurch. I felt so welcome and safe. We're surrounded by caring staff and residents who help each other. I cannot speak highly enough of my new life at Harper Gardens." It's wonderful to get comments like that, and we get them from our residents at Bishop's Park too. There, one of the things they really love is the small size of the village and also its proximity to Hagley Park. We're part of the Anglican Care organisation, and it's got lots of different parts to it. So more recently we've been working in conjunction with the Anglican Care Community Development Division and alongside a number of parishes to help support people who are at risk of being socially isolated, older people who are still living in their own homes but may not be able to get out and about or make the contacts with others in their community so readily. Another part of our work is advocacy, speaking out for the rights and the needs of older people, both in policy settings with the government and the various ministries, but also advocating for our staff and for all of those who work with elderly people, both in our homes and in the community, It's such a privilege to care for people and to provide a home for people at both Bishops Park and Fitzgerald. Older people are just such an inspiration to us.
My name is Jolyon White. I run the Social Justice Unit for the Diocese of Christchurch and for Anglican Care. When someone who is vulnerable falls through the cracks in society, the work of Anglican Care very often is to help pick up the pieces, help to look after the vulnerable, help to meet someone in an hour of absolute crisis, which is essential work. But also, there are times when the things that have caused that also need to be addressed. And so the work of the Social Justice Unit is to try to address some of the structural issues behind either inequality or the things that have caused the need for charity, so that we're not only being the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff, we're also, as much as possible, trying to be the fence at the top. So a great example of what we do would be around legislation. Sometimes there'll be a piece of legislation passed that we think is particularly unhelpful for the marginalised or vulnerable, and so our job is to help Anglicans particularly, but to help other people have their say about that legislation, to have an opportunity to express how they feel about it and what they think solutions would be that make society more just. So we do that kind of work. We also try to deal directly with people in a situation where there's a huge power imbalance. So a good example of that would have been after the earthquake when a landlord ripped a red sticker off a door and tried to make a tenant go back in and pay rent, or in a situation like with the Record Your Rental scheme where landlords often have more power in front of the tenancy tribunal than a lot of tenants do. And so we try to find a way of levelling out that power imbalance so that there's a genuine conversation, a genuine relationship that can take place. But for all of our work, what we try to do is find ways of helping other people get involved. So if people are passionate about a cause, they're passionate about something in their neighbourhood or in their church or in their community or in the nation that they think is unfair about the way we interact with each other, about the way we have our society set up, our job is to help them engage with that problem and to work constructively to try to find solutions for it. So we're not really trying to do the work on behalf of the church, but we're trying to empower the church to engage with these issues themselves.
I'm Andrea Alexander. I'm chairperson of Anglican Care South Canterbury. Anglican Care South Canterbury has been serving our region for over 60 years now with a variety of different services. Last year we undertook a thorough review of our services and made some quite major changes. We're now going forward with 3 key things that we're offering. Firstly, we are continuing to offer the Oceans Loss and Grief Program, which is facilitated by Matt Cameron.
My name is Matt Cameron. I am the coordinator for the Oceans Grief and Loss Program in South Canterbury. About 2 years ago, when I was approached about doing this job, it kind of fitted my skill set and my passion for working with children and with grief and loss. The program itself has been going for about 8 years. It's a program to support children with their grief and loss. It could be from death, separation, divorce, imprisonment, or even geographical loss. And so what Oceans does, and the program does, is takes those children through a program of about 10 sessions to help them and give them strengths and skills to work with their grief and loss. And research has shown that talking about it is really helpful. That when they stop talking about it, then those are the warning signs that we need to get in there and give these kids some real skills to talk about their loss. We use the continuing bonds model of grief and loss, which is not about getting over the problem, it's about living with the loss. And so here's a poem to summarise really what Oceans is about. It says, "Grief is like the ocean. It comes on waves ebbing and flowing. Sometimes the water is calm, and sometimes it is overwhelming. All we can do is learn to swim."
Secondly, we have recently appointed a social justice enabler, Ruth Swale. Ruth is currently working to identify 3 major issues that may be able to be changed for good through concerted action by people within our Anglican parishes and through community networks and by individuals. Thirdly, we are shortly to launch a seed funding initiative. Through that, parishes and ministry units will be able to apply for grants of up to $1,000 to begin a new initiative in the area of social justice or of social service. Anglican Care South Canterbury is seeking to be responsive to emerging needs and opportunities and to increasingly engage parishes and ministry units in order to make a kingdom difference.
Hi, I'm Ros Dean and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Anglican Care Community Development. Anglican Care Community Development is a division of Anglican Care committed to providing opportunities for people to connect in community and to build relationships with one another. We employ partnership health workers who work in the area of Hornby and Hai to enable people to access healthcare. We employ 2 family workers. They work in the areas of Sydenham and St Martin's and Addington, and they work individually with people in their homes, often helping them access some of what would be basic needs: affordable housing, food, maybe benefits from WINS, and helping them perhaps with a court appearance. We employ a number of community development workers who work in the area of Linwood, Addington, Hai and Sydenham St Martin's. What is offered in each of the cottages is so diverse because they listen to what the people of each area want to do. So in some areas there is a community garden, there's a men's shed, there's community lunches, there's craft groups, there's exercise groups. But most importantly, they're building connections with people. They're giving them the opportunity to engage together and to socialise and to feel empowered by the different activities that are offered. We also employ a youth worker who works in the area of Linwood, and she predominantly works in the area of Linwood College, but also in Phillipstown. Anglican Care Community Development has a number of resources available. Perhaps if you're wanting to engage more with your community, contact us and we will be able to assist you or support you in a number of different areas.
My name's Michael Gorman and I'm the Christchurch City Missioner. I'd like to invite you in to share with you just a little of the work that the Christchurch City Mission does. Most people know about the food bank at the mission, and in fact I'm sure that many of you who are watching this have contributed. We're very grateful for this, and that means that we're able to help people in need when the going is tough for them. The other thing the Christchurch City Mission is well known for is the men's night shelter. We also have a women's night shelter as well, and so we can provide 37 beds a night, and in this cold Christchurch climate, that's well worth doing. The mission has a lot of other services, and I'd like to talk about some of them very briefly. We have an extensive drug and alcohol service, and we provide home detox treatment for people. We also have a residential detox service where people can come and sort out the chaos in their lives that often accompanies addiction. We also have individual alcohol and drug counsellors who work both with adults and with young people. Apart from the drug and alcohol service, we have social work service, we have a women's day centre, that's where I'm sitting at the moment, and we have a women's drug and alcohol day service. We have a budget advice service, a generic social work service, and we also have our 9 opportunity shops. These shops are important because they provide a safe place for people to shop, they provide inexpensive goods, and they provide an uncritical place for people to stay, even if they don't want to buy anything at all. The Mission is a social service agency under the auspices of Anglican Care, and so it's important that we show the face of Christ in the work that we do. It's important that we realise where our motivation comes from, and that we are not just another social service, but we are a Christian social service, upholding Christian values. I wish I had more time to show you what we do. I have a wonderful staff. I'm incredibly proud of them. They're professional, considerate, and talented. We're also wonderfully supported by volunteers who look after us. Summing everything up, I think we punch above our weight, providing a social service for the people of Christchurch. And we do it on behalf of the parishes of this diocese, we do it on behalf of Anglican Care, and we do it on behalf of the city who do care for those less fortunate than themselves.